What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Yeah, what up? Y'all almost didn't get no show tonight. Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody. I see Breeze is like 10:30, but Miss Nicci's coming soon. Does this show start at 9:30 or 10:30 or what? People are in here asking, hi, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank y'all for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's make sure as we come in to the WIRF.TV YouTube channel, we hit like, we hit share, and we hit subscribe. Hi, TikTok. Hello, my TikTok family. Let me put you guys up here so you're just a little bit closer to me over here. Hold on, where we at? I don't know what's going on, but hi, TikTok. How you guys doing? Hi, Instagram. Hi, X. Hi, YouTube. Hi, LinkedIn. Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody. Hello. I want to feature my shirt. Shout out to all my pretty poodles in the building. The shirt says songwriters deserve credit. I got this in a Grammys gift bag. You guys, I'm doing a snatchback tonight. Like I said, this one was tough, y'all. Tonight's show and coming here and being here for tonight's show was tough. But we have been talking about this Monique and Tyler Perry situation for a minute. So I figure what the helly, we might as well just go on ahead and get up in here. I want to say welcome to all of our new followers to WIRF.TV YouTube channel. I sincerely appreciate you. I know that it is, there are a lot of people out there in these YouTube streets, and I know there are people who've been doing this for years. And I really appreciate y'all welcoming me as a newbie into this space. I also know that there are a bunch of people. Well, I don't know what's going on over here. See, I tell you, I be getting distracted with my TikTok. So I'm just going to try to not focus on that, right? Because I'm new to TikTok. So when I see something new pop up, I'm like, what's going on? I see you, Piranha Head 313. What up, doe? What up, doe? Piranha Head 313. If you guys don't know, now you know. One of the dopest producers on the planet. Super excited about the opportunity to make some magic with Piranha Head. Y'all know who Piranha Head is. Quit playing. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. And like he said, what up, doe? That's our greeting from Detroit. So if you're from Detroit, you know that what up, doe is basically a lot of other people's version of hi, hello, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Oh, I see you, Victoria Perkins, watching from YouTube. I see you, Pretty Poodle, watching from Instagram. I see you, Sincere Love 317, watching from IG. Hello, beautiful, back to you. See Breezy said that's a sexy beat. Miss Nicci, baby, this beat took all of 0.5 minutes, boo-boo. Because, honey, listen, it's been a day. It's been a day, baby. I have been burning the candle at every end that is available, but I have committed myself to coming in here, hanging out with y'all nightly, 10:30 p.m. I know last night I did good, you guys. Last night I was on time, but tonight I was way behind. So y'all can go on ahead and dock me. Going on ahead and dock me. However, we figure out well, don't dock me. Actually, we need every little resource we can get to get this thing moving. So guys, we got a bunch of really cool stories that we're gonna talk about tonight. So we're gonna get the warm and the fuzzy and the fluffy stuff out of the way. You guys, put your thinking caps on, please, because the one thing I'll tell you about this Nights with Nicci live show is that we really do welcome all opinions. There is no there is censorship. If you're negative, if you're toxic, if you're coming from the wrong place and you're trying to come, up in here and speak ill of anybody, even people who are in the hot topics, we don't tolerate that, really. This is a place for us to have an objective opinion about some of the things that are happening in our community. And our community is largely the community of entertainment. Hi, you guys, I got to get used to this TikTok thing. I be trying to put these little hot topic things in the green screen up in here. But sometimes it gets a little distracting. But we're going to try to stay super duper focused. So if you got, hi, Marvin. Shout out to the Marvelous One. Shout out to the Marvelous One. If you don't know, the Marvelous One is truly the impresario. He is our manager. He is an incredible human being, and he is somebody that you can learn a lot from. So we're going to see if we can talk the Marvelous One into coming up and hanging out with us one day. You feel me? If you guys have not been here, if it's your first time, please try not to get distracted. If you see me turning my head to the right, or if you on my right see me looking straight forward, it is because your girl is simulcasting and I'm talking to a whole bunch of different people from a whole bunch of different platforms. So don't talk about me for drinking this Starbucks in the midnight hour. I know I'm going to regret it, because she's going to be up, but I'm probably going to be up editing until the wee hours of the morning anyway after the show. Thank you guys for bopping in. What up, Doe? I see you, Aqua. Oh, let me get some acknowledgement over here to my TikTok people. 313 represent Detroit versus everybody. Detroit all things. I need all my Detroit people. All of my Detroit people. All of my Detroit people. Hold on. Let's set. All the Detroiters in the building, I need to make sure that you guys go out in November and cast your vote. We have a mayoral. I can say it, you guys. I couldn't say it last night, but I could say it tonight. We have a mayoral race happening in the city of Detroit with potentially making history with the first ever woman mayor for the city of Detroit in Mary Sheffield. So I talked about this quite frequently. I'm going to be talking about this all the way up and through November. So please, you guys, whenever there's an opportunity for you to vote, do that. We see the impact of us choosing to sit elections out. You feel me? And now more than ever, I hate to get into this political stuff, but I'm going to real quick just say this and then I'm going to leave it alone. We have really got to get involved in the process, you guys. You see what's happening out here. I know that it's overwhelming. I know many of us are just like, you don't have the capacity, but it's very, very important for us to become engaged in this process, especially when you have the opportunity to go in and vote for officials. You guys, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. And in our very first feel good moment, like I said, I like to get the warm and the fuzzy feel good things out of the way. Let's see here. Let me get my effects popping. This first story, you guys, according to the Jasmine brand, which is one of my fave places to get information. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for remaining true to the community and always giving us, information. Once again, it's very important that you guys know what we talk about here is not based on fact, especially when we were not there. And I don't like to say anything as if it's my word is bond. This is our unsolicited opinions and an opportunity for us to unpack and, just take a break from the monotony and get an objective perspective. So Forbes recently released its 2025 World's Black Billionaires list. Hello. And guess who wasn't on it this year? But I'm not actually. I don't think I really care about being a billionaire. I just, at this point, you just want impact. Billions of people. And that doesn't always require billions of dollars. The billionaires list is taking over the internet, and it features several notable celebrities. Leading the pack in earners is David Stewart, co-founder of an IT giant Worldwide Technology, whose $11.4 billion net worth makes him the richest black man in America. Now, I should have had his picture up there, but I didn't. I had the pictures that we was most familiar with, and the pictures that we most familiar with is Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, and Oprah. That's what we're doing here. But Robert F. Smith, who has a private equity powerhouse guy, he's right behind him with $10.8 billion. And the Palantir, I believe I'm saying that right, CEO, Alexander Karp, is at $8.4 billion, right? And then we're going to get to the brokies. The brokies are coming up next. They ain't got $8.4. I'm joking. Another thing that happens here, I want you guys to be clear, is that a lot of not seriousness occurs, so clearly when I say brokies, it's just for comedic effect, because we know they are the farthest thing from it. Basketball icon Michael Jordan lands at number 7 with an overall 3.5 billion motherfucking dollars. Baby, I got legal fees. Michael, can I borrow $2? I pay you back. Well, $2 million, I pay you back tomorrow. $3.5 billion with Michael Jordan, thanks to a lifetime lucrative brand deals in his 2023 sale of the Charlotte Hornets. Baby, it's about acquisitions and mergers and buying it and selling it and leasing it and licensing it and everything else. Oprah Winfrey ties for the number 8 spot with a value of $3 billion, continuing to dominate her media empire, while Jay-Z takes in number 10 with $2.5 billion from his wide-ranging ventures in music, fashion, and spirits. Other people on the list, somebody that we're actually going to talk about tonight, a little later on in the show, Mr. Tyler Perry. Magic Johnson got $1.5 billion. Tyler Perry, Tiger Woods, Rihanna all tied for number 14 spot at $1.4 billion. LeBron James follows with $1.3 billion, while BET co-founder, come on, lady, Sheila Johnson rounds out the list at $1 billion in total. Y'all ready for this? In total, the combined net worth of over $96 billion. It is proof that Black excellence is thriving across industries and continents. Now, what's really interesting about this list for me, and what really stands out and makes me go, is please hit like, share, subscribe, notification button. Come on with them likes. Shorty, swing my way with them likes, baby, because we're going to get on into it. I appreciate you guys. What I think about when I think about $96 billion is probably what a lot of people are wondering. Maybe not. Maybe just my wondering ass. I question everything, like the books say. 48 Laws of Power, 3 Magic Words. If you haven't read them, please make sure that you find a way to get to them, because they're great stories. They're great books. But when you think about Black people collectively making $96 billion, and what's really interesting is the vast majority of the people on this list and the money that they are making is in the space of technology, media, sports, and entertainment. I say it all the time, you guys. We talk about it all the time on this page. You guys wonder why I'm always hollering ownership, ownership, ownership. You guys wonder why I'm always saying, make sure that you own and license your stuff. Make sure that you stand up and fight for the opportunity to have ownership of your things. And it is because that is how you build generational wealth and wellness, right? And we are really good in those spaces of media, sports, and entertainment. And this is proof positive, right? Most of the people, I would say 90% of them on this list come from, those arenas. And the other thing that it makes me wonder is, how is it, right, you guys, that with $96 billion is a whole lot of money in this mother. It's 11:11, you guys. I'm sorry. We got the break for the prayer. Lord God Jesus, bless me, bless my family, and bless the families and the people on this live, the families of the people on this live, Lord God. Bless us and keep us. Give us health and wellness, mental health and physical wellness, spiritual wellness, dear Lord. Bless anybody who's experiencing sickness, either mental, physical, spiritual. Lord God, thank you, Lord God, for this day. Thank you for our breath. Thank you for these opportunities, Jesus. Thank you for the ability to connect, Lord God. And please, Jesus, in your mighty name, we pray for world peace all over, Lord God. Nobody wants to be at war. Nobody wants to experience poverty. Nobody wants to experience starvation and hunger. So, Lord, please touch us, each and every one of us on this planet, and let us lean into love and positivity and unity, and of all races and all colors, Lord Jesus. In your mighty name, we pray and thank you. All right. Amen. I don't know how I always end up. Well, I know how I always end up in here on 11:11, because my ass always end up coming to the doggone live 2 days late and $2 short. But yes, Jesus, please continue to bless everybody in earshot of this. And so when you think about $96 billion in the Black community, you really wonder why so many people are struggling, right? And again, it is not everybody's responsibility. I have said myself, I am in my villain era. I am in my villain era. I am in my villain era. If you don't know what the villain era is, I will explain it a little later, but I am embracing it in every sense of the word. And it's not what a lot of you may think that it is, you know? I was talking to my cousin during my birthday, and I'm like, bitch, we in our villain era. We in our villain era. And honestly, you should be in yours too. And in short, basically, what it means is that you are looking out for you. You are putting your needs and you are leaning into making yourself a better person. You know how they always say it starts at home, fix it at the crib first before you go out trying to rearrange and fix up other people's shit. That is basically, in a nutshell, what the villain era is. It is not being apologetic about the not being apologetic, I'm sorry, about how you show up for yourself and how you show up for people who show up for you. So let's talk a little bit about the billionaires, because I know that this conversation comes up quite often. Matter of fact, hey, Margaret Misher, she says, girl, you were talking about two people that have not done anything for black people. Please keep it real. I am. We always keep it real over here. Now, let me say this real quick, because the conversation that we're going to get into tonight is going to just be a wee bit for those who are emotionally intelligent and who don't get offended by other people's opinions, right? We try not to get offended by other people's opinions over here, because I think that part of the reason we have so many issues in our community and in society and in this, I'm plugging this up, y'all, and in this world as a whole, is because people don't know how to take constructive criticism. People don't know how to accept that some of us have, most of us, many of us, have various opinions about various things. We don't all have to have a groupthink mentality where we all feel the same way about the same shit. But what we can do over here at WIRF.TV and Nice with Nicci in particular, where we do, warning, cuss a lot. I'm trying not to cuss because I don't want the algorithm to be like, cuss too much. We ain't gonna show her shit, nobody. But we have opinions here. So your opinion is that we're talking about two people who have not done anything for the community. And there are people out here who would disagree with you. I'm one of those people who would disagree with you. I think it's a strong statement to say that we're talking about black billionaires, any of the black billionaires that I named on this list, and to say that they have done nothing for people in the black community. Now, I do believe that there is more that people who have that kind of privilege can do for the community. And we're going to get into that as we dig a little deeper into the conversation about my sister friend, Monique, and somebody who I've worked with, it's Mr. Tyler Perry, right? I have been very transparent about how much more I believe we as a community could do together. Not just the black billionaires, but anybody who's in a position to share their platform or share knowledge and information like we do every night here on Nights with Nicci. Like I said, the game is free. All you got to do is hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. I really would appreciate it. So we're going to get into it. Hey, that is my homie. Hey. What's up, Pam Esquire? And thank you for the super chat. Whoop, whoop. You guys, I appreciate it. Hold on. Let's give it up. If y'all ain't been hanging out with them law intellects, y'all don't know what y'all missing. One of the smartest women on the internet. Trust and believe. Thank you so much, Pam. I hope you're having a great day. I love and appreciate you, sister. So Margaret says Michael Jordan is the only one. I disagree with that. I believe that Tyler Perry has definitely provided opportunities for people within the community. I believe that Oprah Winfrey, building a school in Africa. We can't determine who people help and how often people use their financial resources to help. But we are going to unpack the importance of our community leaning into, especially when you have a combined net worth of $96 billion. How do we work together to see if it's even possible for some of those super wealthy people to lean in a little bit more into doing more for the community, right? And again, this is not about counting people's money. This is not about, you got a whole lot of money, you should be helping everybody, because, that's crazy. And trust me, being somebody who comes from you know, most entertainers are people who have been lucky enough to be successful in their careers and make a little bit of money, even though we be thinking we running around here with endless supplies. We're not. Not we be thinking, people be thinking, namely family. And people expect, girl, you got all that money. You should stop, get out people's pockets. Please and thank you. But if Forbes is accurately reporting that you have enough money to feed several small villages, then maybe we talk about how you teach people how to fish and how you provide opportunities for people to provide opportunities for their families. Let me do it here so I don't have to turn as much, you guys. How you help provide opportunities to teach people how to fish and provide more for their families. And maybe there's a way to do that, because I think, you can never give or support or help people enough. Let's get into the next feel-good story.
Interesting. Eudoxie Bridges in talks. She's a model, author, and philanthropist.
Okay.
As well as the wife of rapper Ludacris.
Oh, I didn't know her about that. You should have just said Ludacris's wife, and then I would have known.
Well, I want to give her her own space, my friend.
I know. She's beautiful.
She's
beautiful. I've seen her at different events. So nice, so sweet. I have not heard that rumor, but that would be bomb. Because that means with her, we could also Ludacris.
I'm down for that one.
And he's one of my favorite rappers.
Love Ludacris.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be definitely moving the needle.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up and 2 feet.
The last one is interesting. Another love in hip hop Atlanta. Tammy Rivera.
Oh, Tammy Rivera. Yes.
Singer,
she was married
fashion
to
designer, businesswoman.
Waka Flocka.
Really?
Yes. Tammy's great. Super, super sweet. Boss, badass, all of the things. I've been around her many times. I have not heard that one, but of course, if that is true, that would definitely move the needle. 2 thumbs up.
I love that. Okay, so these are all very exciting.
Yeah. I think that group that you just named would be all really great candidates.
Okay.
All right, guys. All right. So that was my girl, my favorite, one of my favorite. Okay, let me watch what I say, because baby, last night's live, I got a couple of phone calls. So let me make sure that I'm that I'm doing this the right way. I love Cynthia Bailey. It's no secret. I think Cynthia's just, good, positive energy. I know her. I've hung out with her. She's just really good, positive energy. So what do you guys think about that? Right? What up, though? Do we feel Ludacris? First of all, I think that Ludacris's wife, I don't know how to pronounce her name, and I don't want to slaughter it. Eudoxie, I want to say. Maybe that's how you say it. Please forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. I think she would be a fantastic addition to the Housewives of Atlanta. And that's weird, I know, coming from me, because most of you know when it comes to the Housewives of Atlanta, I am very anti-families getting involved. I'm very like, ooh, girl, child, please, I don't know if you should do that, because, But here's what I will say. I think that Ludacris understands, first of all, if she does it, she's got the best advice giver, ever in her husband, because he is very, versed in this entertainment industry. I don't think he's going to fall for the okie doke. I don't think that things will be able to be as manipulated as they are, just because, again, her husband is experienced being in front of the camera and can give her a lot of pointers. And she strikes me as somebody who, I want to see her lifestyle. Like, I love to see her being a mom. I love to see, I follow her on Instagram. I love how engaged she is with her beautiful daughters. And if there is a movement to really get the Atlanta housewives into a space of women who are actually married and housewives and whatever, I think she would be a great addition. Who else did they say? Tammy Rivera. I love Tammy Rivera. I think she's got, really good energy, and she's real, and, women like her. She seems like a real girl's girl. Again, she's had a ton of experience on reality TV. And I say this, if you've already been on reality TV and you know what it is, if you have people in your family who have had the experience and can keep it real with you or whatever, and you still want to go for it, well, first of all, we can all kind of look at what happens in reality TV and get a pretty good idea of what to expect from it. But yeah, if you've been in it already and you're willing to take the backlash or whatever, then I'm not mad at people getting that housewives check, because it is the creme de la creme when it comes to reality TV. And like I said the other day, I've stopped becoming the morality police when it comes to reality television, because I just feel like, number one, there's a market for it. People are going to watch it. People are going to take it in and enjoy it. And I don't feel like that is a genie we can put back in the bottle. I just think that people have to go into it knowing what to expect, knowing that you have to give something. You have to give a lot more than you're going to get. At the end of the day, it requires a tremendous amount of sacrifice and vulnerability and exposure. And people are not very nice out here in these streets. And people will lay into your ass. And, you know, if you can handle that and you think your skin is tough enough, then I say go for it. Okay. Margaret Meacher. Okay. I don't know. This is a whole bunch going on there. Okay, you guys. Another story we want to talk about real quick before we get into the main event. And this is a little disheartening, you guys. I'm sorry, Instagram, if you can't see what we're talking about here. Where's the story? Lil Nas X, you guys. I have had things to say about Lil Nas X in the past. I've had some things to say about Lil Nas X. Not negative. I'm never like saying mean things or negative things or disrespectful things, but I do give my unsolicited ass, out of touch auntie ass opinion, right? That does happen from time to time. And the thing that I had an issue with was the whole, like, you know, some of the imagery, right? You know, and it's just the old auntie in me. But here recently, I think maybe a while back, a few months ago, there was an issue with him having some paralysis or whatever. And allegedly, what has recently happened is Lil Nas X is facing legal trouble following a bizarre and troubling incident in Los Angeles, California. The rapper was booked for battery on a peace officer. In this administration, I don't know if that's a good idea, but okay. The rapper was booked on battery on a peace officer after a he was in his underwear, nearly nude romp through the streets, which ended in a physical altercation with law enforcement. According to TMZ, the Old Town Road artist, who is currently, and this was 4 hours ago, per the Jasmine brand, who is currently in custody at the Van Nuys jail for misdemeanor offenses. He is being held without bail. Earlier Thursday morning, bystanders spotted Nas X walking down the middle of the road wearing only white underwear and cowboy boots. Authorities say he was later stripped completely and lunged at an officer. Witnesses called 911 and police responded swiftly. Law enforcement sources also reported that Nas X may have suffered a rug overdose and was taken to a nearby hospital before being booked. While fans are used to the performer's eccentric behavior, this episode appears to be far more serious. Hopefully things start looking up for Lil Nas X. You guys, this is sad because I don't know what's going on with the entertainment industry. I saw the clip. I don't want to share or replay the clip because I think that it's sad. You know, we don't know. Again, I said this last night. We have no idea what people are dealing with, you know, what people are going through. I've always been a really big advocate for artist development and, you know, really, you know, it's hard when you start talking about the DRUG situation. If that is it, we don't know. We weren't there. We have no idea. So again, this is just us just having auntie, uncle, friend, cousin, sister conversations based on limited information and knowledge. But we do know that this happens in the industry. And we know that because of what happened with Whitney Houston. And we know that because of what allegedly happened with Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson and all these other people. That is always something that comes up. And in Hollywood and LA in particular, it really seems to be super rampant. And I feel really bad when I see young kids, because I don't know. Does anybody know? Let's find out. How old? Because I don't think he's that old. Does anybody know how old he is? How old is Lil Nas? He's 26, allegedly. He is 26 years old, right? So a 26-year-old in LA getting into altercations with the police, being arrested, and maybe potentially being under the influence of some kind of drugs is not uncommon in entertainment and media, but happens way too much. And how do you fix the problem? Or do you say they grown and ain't got shit to do with me? You know, my name is Bennett. I'm not in it. I don't really care. You know, like, how do we as an industry, as human beings, as responsible adults, people who are, you know, I got him by almost 30 years. How do we, or do we, help fix this problem? You know, do we amplify the issues and continue to advocate for, but what do you advocate for? They're grown. They're superstars. They get whatever the fuck they want. You work for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole concept in entertainment now. And at 26 years old, I really pray that he gets the help that he needs. And I hope that this industry, can somehow come together and figure something else out, because I'm so tired of hearing about super talented and creative people falling through the cracks. And it's always rug related, and or somebody slipped somebody a Mickey or whatever. Okay, you guys, let's get into the main event. And the main event of the night is clearly Monique and Tyler Perry. My sister, Monique and Tyler Perry, who have been in the news again. And I tried to skate around this a little bit, but then I felt like I was not being true to myself by not having, you know, an opinion on it, especially being somebody who can relate on a lot of levels. The reason why I tried to tiptoe around it a little bit is because, number one, Monique does not need anybody to speak on her behalf. She makes it very, very clear and speaks in full words what her thoughts and opinions are about things. I know Monique, and I love Monique, and I can relate to Monique, and I've worked with Tyler Perry. And her recent interview with T.S. Madison has reopened conversations about her long-standing conflict with Tyler Perry. And as a growing media platform, we have to engage in these hot topics. We do it with integrity. We always acknowledge both sides, remembering that if we were not in the room, all we can offer is perspectives and not facts. So tonight, the reason why I want to share Monique's story is because it resonates with me as a Black woman who's been labeled difficult for standing up against false narratives. And the easiest way to silence a woman, a Black woman in particular, is to call her crazy or delusional, and to use money, to use power, to use control to make that narrative stick in a way that causes irreparable damage. You have no idea how damaging this can be. It's also a reflection on the power of accountability. As the saying has always gone, your apology needs to be as loud as your disrespect. If you publicly disrespect me or defame me, I'm just of the school, and obviously Monique is from the same school. Your disrespect and your apology need to be equally as loud. This is in my opinion, this is about restoring dignity, restoring the trust, and telling the truth, right? Because narratives about Black women matter, right? The importance of public versus private apologies is one that should be up for discussion. And Monique's fight reveals a whole lot about Hollywood and how toxic narratives really change your ability to, or affect, I'm sorry, your ability to get income. Okay, so let me play you guys this video from Monique. Take a listen. You guys have probably already seen it. And then we're going to come back and we are going to unpack this.
That you've not fixed it.
Well. First of all, give me some hearts and let me know. Did you guys watch the full interview with Monique and T.S. Madison? Did you guys watch the whole interview? That was a clip from the interview with Monique and T.S. Madison. And Monique was doing what Monique always does, which is speak her truth, tell her truth. And this is a situation that I think it's been going on for a long time. And let me just say this real quick, and then I'm going to get into some comments because I see a lot of commentary and folks, you know, want to get in on this. But let me just say this real quick. The easiest way to silence a woman is to call her crazy or difficult and to fund the narrative, right? And I'm not saying that this is what Tyler Perry did, right? Not suggesting that at all. I know that there are lots of people who do. When you control a narrative, you can control somebody's livelihood. And labels like difficult and delusional, they don't just stick, they actually really steal opportunities. And the reason I say that is because I know all too well what it feels like to be labeled difficult, what it feels like to be labeled somebody who causes problems, and how that circulates throughout the industry and how that changes your ability to make money. And for those of you, let me see some hearts or a show of hands. How many people think Monique should just let it go? How many, if you think Monique should just let it go, either put a heart in the chat. Put a heart in the chat if you think Monique should let it go. If you think, okay, I see a couple hearts on TikTok. Do I see any hearts in the chat? I don't see any hearts in the chat anywhere else. If you think that Monique has a valid point, if you think that what Monique is saying is real and valid, give me hearts. Show me some hearts if you think Monique has a valid point. Okay. All right. It looks like people believe that Monique has a valid point. Let me get into some of these comments. We love Monique, but once it's public and disrespectful, can we come back from that? In truthfulness, Tyler has issues as well. Mr. Perry acknowledged repeating that what he had heard about Monique. And my question is, who did he hear it from? From her friend allegedly, whatever. Okay. So for somebody to say that they heard that you were difficult from somebody, trust me, I have had that happen myself. That shit is not cool. It will cost you. She just said it costed her family millions of dollars, and I believe her because Monique was just coming off of like winning Oscars. Like, how do you come from being an Oscar winner to being labeled difficult and not getting any more opportunities to work in the entertainment industry, right? How is it possible that because there, and okay, I know that there's the whole saying that there's the curse of the Oscar and all this other stuff, but if people are calling you difficult because you stood on business and you made it clear that there were certain things that you would not be able to do, right? And she made a really valid point when she said that Lee Daniels made good on that promise. Shout out to Lee Daniels. She made it clear that Lee Daniels took the time out and he publicly apologized, right? I don't understand if someone said or sent you an email, and this is taking the Tyler Perry mogul multi-billionaire out of it. This is just basic human decency. If someone has a recording, if somebody has a recording of me saying, "Hey girl, what I did was terrible. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to issue a public apology." And I never do it, then that person has every right to say, "Hey, listen, this person admitted." And from what I understand, that there were people, I think, don't get me wrong, but didn't Shannon Sharp say that he heard didn't she play it for him and play it for a couple of other people where they actually heard it and agreed, yeah, that was his voice. And yeah, he did say that. So I just think that it's important for us to put this in, like, objective perspective. she had years in her career where people did not work with her. She was blackballed, for lack of a better word, because of things that were said that were not true about her. I can totally relate. Not to make this about me, because we're talking about Tyler Perry and Monique, but the damage that is caused when people call you difficult and hard to work with, a lot of times is irreparable. And what she's asking for is not too much. I believe what she's asking for is simply respect. And if it is a recorded promise, which she has said over and over again that this promise was recorded, then I believe that the accountability is long overdue. And I want to share this comment. Did I keep it? I think I kept it, you guys. Let me try to find this. And they hit it hit the nail right on the head. I was like, booyah, this is exactly it. Hold on. All right. Hold on, guys. I'm going to find this because this comment was like so spot on and so perfect. Credit for this comment goes to Hey Denise, right? She said accountability only feels harsh to those who are invested in avoiding it. When a woman delivers it, the narrative quickly shifts. Suddenly, she has an attitude. She's being difficult. She's crazy. She's too much. But the truth is, a woman holding you accountable is not a threat. It's a gift. It's a call to rise higher, to face the gaps between who you are and who you claim to be. Integrity isn't always comfortable, but it's necessary. And women who demand it are not tearing down, they're raising the standard. Respect the voice, respect the mirror, respect the courage it takes to speak truth in a world that often punishes women for doing so. Baby, listen, Denise, I followed you after that one, sis, because that was her caption for the clip that she reposted for Monique. And baby, she couldn't have been more spot on. I don't know what it is about our community that, punishes women of color in particular for speaking up. We deify people because somebody's rich and because somebody's super wealthy and because somebody's super connected. We a lot of times, she just hating her. She just blah, blah, blah. She just rough around the edges. She just blah, 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 blah. But nobody knows except somebody who has been the victim of a false narrative put on their name. That affects their family's livelihood. That affects her ability to build and create generational wealth and wellness for her family, because now she's been labeled difficult. Now she's been labeled a problem. So every time she opens up her mouth, those people who want to participate in groupthink and feel like, every woman who speaks up for herself is just being loud and obnoxious and not stating truth and facts. It's just really super duper unfortunate. Phoenix Will Rise says it's very telling that they felt the need to record the conversation. They basically covered themselves like they knew he would deny. Listen, ain't nothing like a paper trail. That's the reason why I kept all my emails from R&B Divas. That's the reason why I kept my communications from R&B Divas, because it's too easy for somebody to call you a liar. It's too easy for somebody to say you exaggerating and you're bullshitting. And when you have the proof and the facts, then all you have to do is present them and shut them all down. Hi, Nicci. I saw the whole interview. Shout out to TS. She did an amazing job, and I have followed this story for years. Since the movie Precious, her story has never changed. Yep, it's usually the person who's speaking the loudest and the most consistently that is telling the truth, especially in situations like this. I know you guys, sometimes people like to think that just because someone is boisterous or someone sucks their teeth and rolls their neck when they delivering, that they doing too much or they putting 20 on 10. But a lot of times it's people who are quietly sitting there just hoping, that it goes away. Those are the ones that are, the ones that need to go on ahead and issue that apology. And again, because I am saying this does not, and it sounds to me like she's simply saying, hey, listen, we get this apology And we can go on ahead about our lives and keep it moving. But the reason the apology is important, it sounds to me, the reason the apology is important is because it's been, people still have this idea of her being this terrible, difficult person. And when somebody of that caliber, like she said, who has access to millions and millions of people, steps up and says, you know something, hindsight being 2020, I might have repeated something that I didn't know was actually factual, something that I wasn't there to actually experience for myself. And I apologize. I told her I apologize. Now I'm apologizing before a whole world of people. And the reason I say that, and I wanted to find this clip, but then I was like, that'll be too melodramatic. I'm not going to drop this clip in. But I will never forget, Angie Stone said real clearly, I apologize to you in a room of people, and now I'm apologizing to you in front of a whole world of people through this social media and YouTube app. I apologize for the things that I did to disrespect you because I know your heart. I know that it was not your intention. I know that you created this thing and participated in this for this reason and that reason, and I will always be grateful to her for that. And the minute that Angie apologized to me, it was squashed. It was over. So I totally understand what Monique is saying, because nobody wants. Imagine somebody just lied on you. Again, I wasn't there, and I have not heard the message. But I don't think that anybody is above reproach. And I don't think that just because you're wealthy and successful and a whole lot of people like you and a whole lot of people love you, right, that you are incapable of humbling yourself and apologizing to somebody if you have done something wrong. Monique is not dragging this story on because she wants clout. I know personally that Monique don't want to do nothing but take care of her family, work out, get herself mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally together. Monique does not want to participate in the skullduggery and the crazy shit. I know for sure. She's not here for any of that. But I do understand when someone has burned you in one way or the other, when somebody has labeled you, put a scarlet letter on your chest, and they have said, I shouldn't have done that and I'm going to apologize, you would be waiting like the Jeopardy clock. Doo, 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 doo. And like she said, it was 2016. And the other thing is, for those people who are really big fans of, Mr. Tyler Perry, and for those people who are really big fans of Monique, you don't have to choose between one or the other. All you have to choose is between right and wrong, between, what I'm saying, what you would expect if it were you in that situation. And just because this thing happened between them does not mean that it's irreparable, because look at the situation with Monique and Lee. They're working together. Lee apologized. They moved on, right? So I just feel like if we as people were more comfortable apologizing, right? And sincerely apologizing to one another and just saying, look, sis, or look, bro, I'm sorry. I was in a space. I didn't have all the facts. I didn't have all the information. I spoke out of turn. I would never just disrespect you randomly for no reason at all. I apologize. And that hasn't happened. And I think if there's a recorded, like I said, if there's a recorded promise, then there's accountability that people are expecting. And promises carry weight, right? But so does silence. You feel me? Promises carry weight, but so does silence. And if Lee could make peace and publicly say, I'm sorry, my question is, why can't Mr. Perry? Right? This is not about taking sides. It's about keeping your word, understanding what it feels like to have somebody say something about you or perpetuate a narrative about you that's not true, and feeling like I deserve an apology. I deserve a public apology. Let's see what you guys are saying. Nicci, I was able to see the conversation between you and Angie. I saw that there was not a dry eye in the room. It seemed to be so spiritual. God was in that space. Yes, he was. And it just went so far, you guys. And that's the reason why I wanted to cover this, because I don't think, let me think about the right way to say this. I sincerely believe that when you sincerely apologize to somebody, no matter how egregious, well, not no matter how, because, some shit you just can't come back from, right? But when you sincerely apologize to somebody for a misunderstanding or something that you did not, you look back and you be like, well, I could have, I had to do that. And you do it from your heart and you do it sincerely. I really believe that it just heals not just the two people who are in the space of the apology, but I think all of us would be like, yes, that's done. Yes. We would be like, yes. And what's interesting is that T.S. Madison had the talk about riding for your girl. T.S. Madison called Monique, I want to say, and asked to get her blessing before she took that role. Baby, what? Like, that's loyalty and sisterhood and friendship. And Monique was like, go get your money. Go get your role. Like she said in the interview, I know you work for this guy, right? So, yeah, I want to see this thing wrapped up. And I would love, I think there will be so much power in the apology that was promised. Yeah, Phoenix says he could at least apologize for the effect that it caused and the trauma surrounding it. You guys, the trauma of a label being put on you and how it affects how you move in your career is so real. It really does take food out of your family's mouth. It really does prevent you from having opportunities to share your gift. It is really unfair. And integrity is so important amongst us because we have so many other battles that we have to fight with people who don't look like us and people who don't understand us. I'm sorry, let me get into my TikTok messages, you guys. It can help, Dwayne says, it can help you feel validated, understood, and acknowledging your feelings and experiences. Yes. An apology carries so much weight. Yes, it does. Mo is entitled to her interpretation of being wronged. I support her, but silence is power. Silence is power. I will say that silence is power, but silence can also be very dangerous when you are suffering silently because you are still being traumatized year after year because of something that someone labeled you and you can't shake it. And the only real way that I think people are going to be like, oh, okay, well, so Monique wasn't X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. I think the only way we get to that is if Tyler apologizes. And what is the problem there, right? If you admitted that you did it, if you admitted that, yeah, I was wrong and I shouldn't have done that, or I didn't hear the conversation, so I don't know. Again, I'm speculating because again, I have not heard the conversation, but I trust Monique. And I understand the impact of being labeled difficult. What's the problem with you just apologizing? What is the problem with you sincerely apologizing? Yes, I'm live on YouTube, TikTok. The YouTube live is wirf.tv YouTube or at wirf.tv YouTube. For whatever reason, TP has decided not to publicly apologize. I say it's time for her to pivot. That's a really interesting perspective. Thank you very much, Mr. High Taylor. He says, I think it's time for her to pivot for whatever reason he doesn't want to apologize. Let's unpack that for a minute so this doesn't seem one-sided. How many of you agree with Mr. Pivot? How many of you believe that she should just not expect the apology and let it go? Can I see some hearts? Do you guys think that she should just let it go? Let me look on IG. I'm sorry. I got to pull my IG people up. Forgive me, y'all. Oh boy, where's my IG? Where's my IG? I do not see it. Oh, it's there. Do y'all think she should just apologize and let it go? I see a couple of hearts. I don't see that many. Okay, I don't see that many. Okay, I see a couple here and there. Yeah, the flip side of that, hold on. So the flip side of that is if she should just accept that he's not going to apologize, then should he just accept that every time somebody asks her about the situation, that she should just go in and speak her truth and let people know exactly how she feels about it? I mean, two wings on a bird. You know what I'm saying? Should she, she should just move on. So what you're saying is she should just move on and let it go. But Yeah, no, I think yeah, I don't agree. I'm tired of people lying on other people and just moving on like nothing happened. That's how I feel. And I think you really have to be the victim of somebody lying on you. Or let's just say that it wasn't just a flat out, she said he lied on her. So we can't tell her how to feel. But let's just say in his mind, he feels like he didn't lie. He just misunderstood or spoke out of turn or whatever. Either way, the damage and the impact to the career is the same. And as somebody who is so successful, I guess that's kind of my thing. As somebody who's so successful, has so much money, so much power, so many resources, why not just apologize? It's not going to make you, your fan base is going to ride for you either way. I truly believe that Tyler Perry has a fan base that's going to ride with him either way. You know what I mean? And I don't think the apology is going to make them go, oh, he apologized to Monique, so, we're not going to watch his movies and stuff anymore. If anything, I think he apologizes to her and it opens up the door for healing, and his fan base, grows. Even better. Mo is entitled to her interpretation of being wronged. Okay, yep, absolutely. I read that already. I'm sorry. Let's see. Hey, Nicci, I'm excited to see you next month. I'm excited to see you next month, too. I think this might be about a show. Don't let it go, but don't make it your mission either. She's not making that her mission. Now, I can honestly say, Monique is not waking up every day trying to figure out how she could talk about the fact that she didn't get an apology from Tyler Perry. What I see Monique doing every day when she wakes up is she figures out a way to make her life better. She has the Monique's movement going on right now, where her and Dwight are working out and working on health and wealth and mental health and wellness. She's really doing really positive things. She's not living in the shadows of it. But the reality is, it did have a negative impact, and it did, has gone on for quite some time. Okay, I see another comment. Be okay with being the villain in people's stories and give yourself closure. I already said earlier today I'm in my villain season. Let me explain what villain season is so people don't be like, this bitch on Instagram with gray hair, a gray streak through her head talking about talk about being a villain. But let me break this down, you guys. A villain era, okay, is a period of transformation where an individual prioritizes their own needs, well-being, and self-discovery, often by setting firm boundaries and letting go of unsupportive relationships, leading them to be perceived as an antagonist in others' lives. It represents a powerful phase of self-acceptance, empowerment, enabling people to step out of their people-pleasing ass behaviors and reclaim their autonomy, even if it means challenging others' expectations from comfort zones. So key characteristics of the villain era are this: that you prioritize your own needs, check. That you set and assert boundaries, check, check, check. That you reevaluate relationships, check, 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 check. And that self-acceptance, self-discovery, and unapologetic self-expression is a way of you claiming your power, right? So I would say that the villain era, give it up. The villain era is indeed a catalyst for personal growth. So, this Tyler Perry and Monique situation has gone on for a long time. And, somebody said I should call Miss Ian Levinson. Someone said, should we ask Mr. Perry to hush when he wants to quote? Okay, let me say this real quick. I'm gonna play this clip, you guys, and consider this though. Where are we? Oh, I'm at an hour. I'm about to be off in a minute. So I'm gonna play this clip. I did pull this clip up because the other thing that I think Monique has a valid point in saying is that when you see him speak publicly on behalf of other women who look like us or like you, he spoke real eloquently at Angie Stone's funeral, and Monique has something to say about that after the fact. So let me just share this real quick, and then we're going to talk about that and then wrap this thing up. Take a listen.
Y'all got to forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything. But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it? It's wrong. It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap. But you got to be careful when you start mistreating people, especially children of God, because the Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm.
So, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Candace said it. There it is. There it is. The irony. The irony. And that's where Monique is in this situation, I believe. And here's the thing. You guys, I don't have no grudge with Mr. Tyler Perry. I don't. I don't like what has happened with him and Monique at all. I love Monique. I understand Monique. I relate to Monique as somebody who has had similar situations. I can't even imagine, I'm sitting here feeling some type of way because of the narrative that was painted about me on R&B Divas. This is somebody who has millions and millions of followers and lots and lots and lots and lots of access. And it's interesting. Somebody was like, you work with Tyler Perry on Meet the Browns. How was it? Like I said, working on Meet the Browns was the funniest experience of my life, but I didn't work as much with Tyler. It was David and Tamala. It was Tyler's play and he showed up a few times, but yeah, I didn't. And I had my own situations, which I'm not even, like I said, I'm not gonna turn this into my stuff with, about me. But here's an interesting point that someone, Dabra on TikTok said, there's an African proverb that goes, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. That was a wonderful speech that he gave for our sister Angie Stone. I definitely, support everything he's talking about, like the fact that she had to work and where is her money and why was she treated this way, and the passion and his tone. It's like almost like I'm like, Tyler must be trying to be a preacher, becoming a preacher, because it was very much like a sermon and it was so heartfelt and he was giving it to you. I can imagine what it feels like to be watching that as Monique and feeling like I haven't worked. Well, she has worked actually, but my career has been negatively impacted by things that could have been avoided, right? And, it's the old saying, the pot calling the kettle black. Like, you know what I mean? You have to believe that there is an apology that is owed to someone when someone says, I'm going to apologize to you publicly. I'm just going to do it after, this project, right? I don't believe that this is just Monique's fight. Like it wasn't just Angie Stone's fight. I believe that this is every Black woman's fight against false narratives. That is what this is about. Integrity in the media, integrity from your peers, having objectivity. It's the only way that we're going to be able to get through and not be hindered by people's opinions and the bullshit. We weren't in the room, so all of this is about perspectives. But at the end of the day, I believe my friend. And I believe that it's just easy to accept that maybe an apology will wrap this thing up and make it all easier for us to move on and digest. There's another comment I wanted to pull up here that was actually, her reputation is ruined. Alon Netflix. I don't know. I disagree. I don't think her reputation is ruined. I think these days, honey, we have more access to our audiences and the people. I think she's doing fine. right? Actually, but I think she has a really valid point when she says that she believes that, she is owed an apology. People get caught up in Monique's delivery. That is simply one that is assertive. And I'm sorry, that they get caught up in her opinions being assertive and they miss the facts of what she's saying. She has been gaslit by him every time he speaks from a righteous tone, right? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it is triggering. It is triggering. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want you guys to take this to the wrong, place at all, right? But it's like watching someone who is an abuser speak against abusers. I am not saying that that is what Tyler Perry is. And I'm not saying that that is what Tyler Perry did. I'm saying for some people, when you watch someone that you feel has wronged you speak out about others wronging other people, it is triggering. So as we wrap this thing up, okay, Rebellious One says, so my question is, how is Tyler Perry able to get away with this? And do you think he will ever honestly apologize? I don't know. I have no idea. I think what Monique is asking for, I don't think it's too much. I think she's asking for accountability. I think she's asking for respect. I think she's asking for truth. And if it was in fact and is in fact, which we've heard multiple times that it is true, that there is a recorded promise, then I don't feel like the accountability is, asking too much. I think it's overdue. But bigger than this story about Tyler and Mo is about how power, money, and narratives can help shape or destroy somebody's life. It's about how easy it is to silence women, black women in particular, by painting us as difficult, by painting us as delusional, by painting us as angry. It's about how we work to rebuild our lives once a story takes root. Once people believe a certain thing about you, you guys, it's been 13 years since R&B Divas, and everybody thinks I'm a horrible person. Everybody thinks that I'm just this super bitch from Super Bitchville, and I ain't out here to do nothing but cause problems. And that is not it. We all know that saying, your apology needs to be as loud as your disrespect. But believe this, Linda, your truth must also be louder than the lies. People tell me to let shit go all the time. She's still in that case with P. Diddy. Why don't she let it go? There is nothing more annoying than somebody telling you how to feel, when to feel it, where to let it go, how to let it go. If you have not walked a mile in my shoes, then all you should be doing is learning from my experiences as I speak my truth out loud to share it with people so that hopefully we can get to a place of something different and healing. So I'm going to leave y'all with this question. What do we... Somebody says off topic. Okay, let me answer these real quick. I believe Mo then and now. I'm so glad the public as a collective believe Mo. 50 Cent even spoke out. Sometimes when victim feels they are not believed, they will do things. Yeah, you ain't lying about that. Someone says, but you can't go at Oprah any kind of way. And that is the problem. You can't tell a person how to express themselves once you've offended them. Once you done piss somebody off, you can't tell them how to react. You just can't. They just don't go together. Again, I told you this is not about taking sides. This is about taking a stand for truth, fairness, and respect, no matter who you are, no matter who the person is. I don't care who you are. If you disrespect them, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much popularity you have. I don't care how much power you have. Some people are not going to let you just disrespect them without being vocal about it and without demanding respect. We talk all the time about teaching our girls and teaching people to demand respect no matter what. Like, don't let nobody disrespect you. Don't you let nobody, oh shoot, did I lose your TikTok? Oh, I almost lost my TikTok. I didn't. Okay, there it is. We talk all the time about not letting people disrespect you. And when somebody stands up for themselves, we criticize them for standing up for themselves. And that's just ass backwards. Okay. when what we do when we allow, is it the Martin Luther King quote? It is not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And when you just sit in silence because you believe that people are going to believe the narrative of you being a loud, angry black woman because more people like me, or I have a larger fan base, or, I got more followers, or I got more this, and you see that what you've done obviously is not okay, right? But you still choose not to remedy it by a simple apology, says a lot about people's character, right? Your truth has always got to be louder than the lies. Soul Selling Poet says, I've always been on Mo's side for this. Forever Deshaun says, I don't think that Tyler Perry will apologize unless Oprah does. Facts on Me says, right, you got to demand it. Okay, I'll take a rebellious one. He says, Nicci, God has a blessing with your name on it, and it will come from the winning side. Oh, I'll take it, Lord Jesus. Thank you very much. Okay, come on for Curvato Forever. Please, TikTok, follow my Curvato lifestyle page. It's all about me in the gym sweating, baby. Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much, Pam, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. The narrative is just as harmful as stereotypes against black men. Yes, indeed. You guys, this is a very serious conversation, but I think we need to always remember promises carry weight when you hold power. And so does silence. Once again, if there is one thing I could say, when you hold that kind of power, promises carry weight, and so does silence. This is not a conversation about taking sides. This is a conversation about holding people accountable and people keeping their word, right? Seabree say, I agree with you, tell the truth, but once you tell me to skirt, we fight. I'm sending you a full proposal via email. Have been your number one supporter since From the Bottom Up. True to me, from my soul. Can you get with it? I did it all legit. Yes, that's a Brownstone song. Speaking of Brownstone, guys, we'll see you in Boston on September 6th. We will see you in Columbus on September 20th, I want to say. I'm so excited to be in Detroit for the Expats Homecoming this year. And it sounds like Expats Homecoming. Who's the Expat? Is that a team? No, it's people. It's a organization, in Detroit that reaches out to people who are born and raised in Detroit and, works to build some really incredible things in the city. Real quick, as it relates to curtains, auditions, we are sifting through more submissions, and then we are going to start doing an audition call. We have actually been exploring the possibility of having some auditions right here live on WIRF.TV YouTube channel. What do y'all think of that? Can I get some hearts? Would y'all audition live if you were an actor, a singer, a performer? Would y'all want to come and audition live? Huh? Would you do it? Would you do it, Ike? Would you do it? Would you do it? Michael says, Nicci, you have taught me so much from being a supporter. You guys, thank you so much. And again, I'm going to wrap this up. We're not going to make this a 2-hour live, but I'm really hoping and praying that Tyler Perry sees, he doesn't have to do it. We all know that. Right? He doesn't. Tyler got enough money. Tyler got enough friends. Tyler got enough relationships. He does not owe anybody an apology in his eyes, right? Probably. But imagine the power of a sincere moment of, I'm sorry, right? Just being a black man and seeing a black woman who's been hurt by some things you may have said, some things you may have done. Just a genuine hug, a genuine apology, a genuine, I didn't realize it at the time. We've all done that. I've done that. I've had to go back and apologize and take some things back. An apology isn't a sign of weakness. Actually, an apology is a sign of strength. And an apology is a way to show love. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope and pray that our dear brother sees the importance of him coming up and just, apologizing. C Breezy said, Babyface and Anita Baker made up, and if they can do it, anything is possible. I think you guys all want to see us make up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to, publicly apologize to anybody that I offended on R&B Divas, or, to anybody I've offended, in the public eye. I don't typically make it my business to say shit about people that's not true or that I can't validate. And, but none of us is perfect, and we all slip up and we say, the things that, sometimes we say things that we don't mean, and we say things that stick with people and things that hurt people. And I promise you guys, as much as you think this might be beating a dead horse, as much as you might think this is, she need to let it go, you don't understand the impact, right? Imagine if you are working in the food industry, right? Imagine you work in the food industry and you're trying to launch your food business, and Emeril Lagasse or some big, the guy from Top Chef, just one of the biggest chefs ever in the whole wide world. She nasty. She don't wash her hands. She be picking food up off the floor, putting it back in the pot. Now, I know this is an exaggerated form. I'm not saying that Tyler Perry did all this. I'm just saying. Imagine you're in the food industry and somebody blasts your cleanliness or the products that you use or whatever, and it just ruined your career. And people don't want to eat your food, and people don't want to eat in your kitchen. Imagine how powerful it would be if the person who started the rumor came back and said, you know what, her kitchen actually isn't nasty. I had heard that somewhere, but in hindsight, looking into it, I spoke out of turn and da-da-da-da-da-da. And you help, restore some of that person's honor. You help restore some of that person's standing in the food community. It's no different than entertainment. And I'm telling you guys, the secret weapon, it is a secret. It ain't as a matter of fact, it's not even a secret weapon. It's just a go-to weapon that people use all the time, is that Black women who stand up for themselves are loud, angry, delusional, difficult, hard to deal with. And we're not hard to deal with, baby. We are hard to play with. Or let me say it like Monique was saying, we had to fuck with. Please. Just because you don't like somebody's apology, I'm sorry, just because you don't like somebody's delivery, does not mean what they are saying is not true. I cuss all the time. I talk hard. I suck my teeth. I roll my neck. I do team too much every time I get on this. But at the end of the day, that does not mean I am a liar. Do you understand what I'm saying? It does not mean that I am making this shit up. Reconciliation is everything. And a private apology cannot undo public harm. It does me no good for you to come and be like, that thing I did, I'm sorry, but don't tell nobody. No, because the world thinks I'm a terrible person. So I need you to retract that. And I'm going to say this real quick. I try to intentionally, that's why I've been beating around the bush and fishing around and shit like that, is because I hate always turning this into the P-Valley conversation. But here's the thing. Things done in private, things that are redacted, things that are not available for the public and for people to see, still will have people left believing that you are exactly what that person said you were, or not validate your claims. We had a whole deposition, sworn deposition during P-Valley. You guys have no idea that this deposition occurred because we were all on the phone, much like Monique said. Tyler called her. They was all on the phone. We had a sworn deposition, you feel me? Where they said all kind of shit. That if you, the public, heard what Katori said, if you, the public, heard what Nico said, if you, the public, heard what the CEO of Lionsgate said, maybe y'all wouldn't think I was out here beating a dead horse or being loud and wrong. Maybe you'll be like, oh, well, damn, I didn't know that. Well, in that case, maybe. And because the law decided to redact it and to cover it up and not make it available for anybody to see, now the public thinks that I'm just, the vast majority of the public actually believes me, right? Because if you watch some comparisons and did your research, you know what it is. But my point is just when you do things in the dark, what is done in the dark requires light for sanitation. requires to be exposed, right? In order for people to be able to move on. Silence can be as powerful as words, especially when you are not speaking up for the truth. What it means when you publicly apologize to someone is that you are sincerely sorry and you're willing to risk people looking at you as an imperfect person. And that's okay, as long as the person that you have done wrong is able to receive it. Did I like his speech at Angie's funeral? I wrote a song called If You Love Me, and I'm going to sing a little part of it as the answer to the question about whether or not I liked his speech at Angie's funeral. You see, now actions speak louder than words. So don't just say things that's it. I'm just going to tell you, actions speak so much louder than words. And I think that the words were absolutely music to my ears, but I needed to be followed up by actions. Somebody said we heard the Bill Cosby deposition, right. But you can't hear mine. You can't see mine. They don't understand it takes a lot to go through a lawsuit with a multi-million-dollar company. It takes guts. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, it's crazy. But again, as we close this episode of Nights with Nicci tonight, I just want to reiterate that what Monique is asking for, again, is not too much. All she's asking for is accountability, in my opinion, and everybody got them. All she's asking for is accountability, respect, and the truth. And again, if it is recorded that he promised that he was going to apologize, then she deserves that. Last couple questions. So does she want an apology or does she want publicity? She wants an apology. She wants an apology. She wants an apology for being wronged, just like anybody would. I don't think Monique is chasing publicity. In fact, I'm pretty certain that she's not. The only thing she wants publicity for, in my opinion, is people getting healthy. That's what she's out here promoting, left and right. So go to her page, join her YouTube channel, get healthy, mentally, physically, and spiritually healthy. Yes, the whole point of me getting on these lives talking is that so creatives can learn from my experiences. I keep getting asked about whether or not I'm the holdup for P-Valley, and the question is always going to be the same. No, I don't have the power to hold P-Valley up, but I do believe in karma. I do believe that karma is the great equalizer. And the other thing is, if you've had a season ready to go for a year or longer, then it would seem to me like they were going ahead and put that season out if it was all that in a bag of chips. And that's all I can say about that. Did I miss any comments? I'm just going through, making sure I missed no comments or any super chats. Y'all, I'm a little tired today, so please forgive me if it was a little draggy. Let's see. Miss Nicci, partner with Lifetime and produce some movies. You produce and write great stuff. Thank you, Dwayne. We are, I will plug this again. Two things I want to plug real quick. From the Bottom Up Foundation.org is kicking off the Creatives Equality Awareness Month in September. Every Sunday in September, we are going to hear from creatives who care about creatives and discussing ways that we can protect each other and do really positive things. And also casting Curtains. We are casting our musical drama series Curtains, which is based on the musical stage play Soul Kittens Cabaret. This is the script that I left with the CEO of Brownstone. I told you I'm so fucking tired, but I wanted to get into this conversation because it's been a minute. The CEO of Lionsgate. We are still in a Supreme Court will be doing a closed door conference on September 29th. Please, you guys, make sure you pray on that day. We are super excited about this writ of certiorari. I filed it as a pro se a pro se petitioner, and the respondents, who are Lionsgate and Stars, have waived their right to respond. In other words, they don't believe that the Supreme Court is going to grant my writ. So they basically are like, they're not even going to waste the time, effort, or energy that is required to respond to it. So let's just pray that the Supreme Court sees this as an opportunity to level the playing field. You guys, please make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. I want to say shout out to all my folks watching me on LinkedIn. Shout out to my people watching me on X. Shout out to my people watching me on Facebook. And shout out to my people watching me on WIRF TV and TikTok. I am Nicci Gilbert Daniels. I know you will slay a good holiday movie. You already know. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you, Detroit, for the love. Y'all, I can't wait to come and party with my hometown. Off topic, your husband is fine. Ain't he? I got a good looking man. His heart is amazing. I've seen him in person, and geez. Oh, wow, yeah. Where you seen my husband in person at, grew up? No, he's always with me. We two peas in a pot. I'm so grateful for my man. You guys, we've been married. Oh, Lord Jesus. We have been married for 15 years. We're about to be going 16 years. We've been together for 20, damn near. Please save this live because I'm at work. Yes, it'll be available on YouTube. I love Nights with Nicci. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. You guys, I got on my Scales of Justice earrings. These are sterling silver, boo. And I got these from the Supreme Court when I went to D.C. I will be in D.C. in September. I will be there with my sorors, the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. They're doing a really incredible, we're going to the Capitol. You understand? There's some big things popping. There's some big things popping. There's some little things stopping. How do I submit a song for Brownstone? Please just send me a DM, or you can go to brownstoneofficial.com and become a member. And we have some private chats going on over there. Victoria says, I love Nights with Nicci. Good night. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys for joining me. I really appreciate y'all for listening to me ramble. Did I meet Justice Ketanji? No, but I would love to meet Justice Ketanji. And I hope that Justice Ketanji and 3 other justices at least look at my case and see this as an opportunity to help level the playing field when you have underfunded plaintiffs fighting wealthy multi-billion-dollar corporations, you guys. Again, Tyler Perry and Monique, I'm praying that Tyler apologizes to Monique, especially if he promised her that he would. I think that it would heal this industry. I do. And I would love to talk to some of these billionaires that we mentioned. Call me billionaires, Michael Jordan, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey. Call me, y'all. Let's talk about how we can build some really fantastic things for our community. Got a whole grant proposal for y'all and everything. Media is the most powerful tool in the universe, and having objective media is super duper important. And that's what we like to pride ourselves in here at WIRF.TV. You might not always agree with what you hear. You may not always like what you hear, but we will always give you authentic, real opinions, educated and informed opinions. And we never want to be derogatory or defamatory or anything like that. Although I might give y'all some fire about Lionsgate and P-Valley every now and then because I'm a human being and the shit that happened to me was foul. All right. Remember this, you guys. For those of you who don't believe that Monique should be speaking her truth, for those of you who believe that she should just let go, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Everything's gonna work out right, you know. Sometimes you gotta just speak your truth. And the bottom line is your truth should always be louder than their lies. All right. I am so grateful that you guys came and hung out with me again on this here evening. Let me play my jam, y'all. This is our jam. Hey. I'll be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a little Q&A. Oh, you didn't miss the conversation, Debbie. It's going to always be available for you, baby. All you got to do is go and look. Right, Sea Breeze, God is in control, you guys. I'm praying for everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful Thursday night, a wonderful Friday. Come join me tomorrow night. Get your questions ready, and let's recap some of the stuff that we talked about this week. I'm your host, Nicci Gilbert Daniels. Thank you, guys. Please hit like, hit share, subscribe. Thank you again, Pam, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you on TikTok, everybody who's given me gifts. I appreciate that. I am the CEO and founder of WIRF.TV and media, women in reality film, TV, music, and media. Nicci Gilbert Daniels. I love y'all. Good night. Peace. And so I don't know how to get out of this. Hold on. My big exit. Because I can't get out. There we go. In now. Peace, y'all. Thank you. 2,000 viewers on my TikTok and everywhere else. Come on, say goodnight. Come on, say goodnight. Come on, up here. Woo. Come on, baby. You gonna come say goodnight or no? You don't wanna? He's like, I'm not trying to be on camera.